Today's a pretty special day for me, but it's also the day of pain because it is the eternity of pain, or no, winter of woes. Yeah, it's a day of woe. Anyway, so this DANI MOONSTAR fight isn't too bad like once you start to learn her SP2 decks, because what she has is a lot of things that involve her getting to the SP2, her getting her Neuroshocks and her Falter up. But like once you look out for those things, it's basically down to can you dex her SP2 or not. Now, I'm going to show you this solo first because this one doesn't involve the SP2 at all, because Guillotine 2099 is really good at just power control, and her power control allows her to just make sure that DANI MOONSTAR never throws a single SP2. So yeah, if you're struggling with the SP2 decks, then I would do this objective first because you pretty much avoid it at all times. So that's why I think Guillotine is like the easiest solo for this by far. But yeah, this DANI has this node where like whenever you parry, you get this falter charge on you, and at 3 falter charges, you get faltered for about 7 seconds. So you want to avoid parrying pretty much. And additionally, she has Power Focus 2, but also Special Lock 1. So her Special Attack 1 is actually Special Locked. So yeah, that's also pretty important to know too. And like I said, Power Focus 2, like it means whenever she is above 2 bars of power, she's gonna start gaining a lot less power overall. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Once like she's at that SP2 level, she won't gain that much power at all. So for like this fight, especially the Guillotine one, you want to take advantage of that big time by just spamming your SP1 and just like keeping her below that 2 bar level and like barely above it as well, because she won't get to the SP3 without like a ton of hits. So yeah, this fight is honestly a pretty fun one. Like really outside of those two things, like the Special Lock and like the Power Focus 2, there really isn't much here overall, because yeah, every other node is pretty much manageable. There is one combo up node that means like she gets her falter pretty often, but if you don't hit her block, that falter won't trigger. So just don't hit her block either, and then yeah, you're kind of just chilling for the rest of it. Not too bad of a fight for sure. Like there are harder fights in the game, and DANI MOONSTAR is not one of them. So yeah, here I go for the intercept, and whenever you intercept, her combo meter doesn't go up for 5 seconds. So if you want to like, try to solve that problem, then I would just start intercepting a ton. But then again, that's also pretty dangerous. So that's really about it for this fight. Now you just have to make sure that she doesn't throw the SP2 if you can't dex it, but in the other two solos, you're gonna have to dex it. So we'll get to that later. I'll show you how to do it because it honestly isn't as bad as I first thought. It looks pretty scary, but it's honestly pretty easy because it's just 3 simple dexes. It's just about the timing of it, right? But yeah, we're almost done here. We're at 188 hits. We drop another SP1, and yeah, it's getting close. It's down to the wire. I am boosted, by the way, because I'm using a rank 1 champion. But yeah, she drops her heavy attack, and the damage output for us is just really, really good now. And the power drain is just, doing power drain things. She drops a combo into my block, and this matchup is essentially over now. I got pretty nervous here though, because yeah, like I didn't want to mess it up, but here I dropped the SP1 and that just does it. So yeah, overall very good fight, and there is one objective down, so not too bad at all. And here's the second one. This is the Mutant and Mcoc objective, and I picked Namor here. And I don't think there's a best option for this. It just comes down to, okay, you gotta dex the SP2. However, I think Namor has an advantage here because whenever he is in Imperious Rex and he has that massive fury, he does not give DANI MOONSTAR power from his special attacks. So yeah, that's honestly pretty huge. And I didn't know the dex going into this fight, so like I had to just try to learn it as I went. And yeah, it's a pretty interesting one, right? Because the SP2 from DANI MOONSTAR has like a ton of hits. However, the dexing isn't that complicated because one single dex can get rid of a ton of bullets. So yeah, check this out. I think she's gonna throw it here. Does she? I hope she does. By the way, whenever you hit into her block, she like never retaliates, so don't worry about that. And yeah, there I go for the Dex. As you can see, like that was pretty much how to do it. It's just one swipe back for each, like, you know, section of the SP2. It's just like a kind of hard to time one. It's not as hard as like Bishop's SP2, but it's like a bit like, it's like a lesser version of that, just 3 times in a row. But yeah, there I time it again perfectly, and now it's time for the SP3 from Namor. Now, I didn't get too lucky on the crits here initially, but yeah, we get kind of lucky after it. Check this out. I'm going to drop the SP3, and then we go in here for the first SP2, and we get 0 crits. It is what it is. Go back in, drop another one here. No crits again, except for this nice 166,000 SP2. And yeah, that's just Namor things, really. I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, I dropped the relic here, and we're looking pretty good now. We got a Dex like probably 2 more SP2, so that's kind of fun. So here I dash back. Oh no, I blocked that one. If like she doesn't have any effects on her, like no prowess or anything, you can block like the first hit just to, you know, relieve some pressure, I guess. But yeah, you want to ideally Dex all of it. So here she drops it again, go for the Dex, and yeah, like I said, it's just all about timing really, and I got that timing pretty much down at this point. For the most part. You're gonna see in the final solo that yeah, I do get hit by it actually, but the champ I'm using kind of just saves me from it. But yeah, here I drop the SP3 again, and I go for the short Imperious Rex, and we get a nice crit anyway, and the fight is essentially over now. Overall, just really good stuff from Namor, and yeah, he is just reliable at this point. Just such a good champion to rely on. And here we have the final solo, and yes, this is a rank 3 Photon. I know, don't worry, I'm aware that I'm like, you know, using the most powerful character in the game, one of the most powerful characters in the game at a rank 3 level. So yeah, Photon here, you just wanna, you can do whatever you want really. She counters miss, so yeah, you're kind of chilling in that regard. Just remember that she doesn't counter miss completely until she's in pure light form, so just don't do that. Just don't like try to, you know, counter the miss ASAP. But yeah, full Dex right there. And with Photon, I mean, you don't have to like Dex all of them, because Photon's pretty tanky with the taunt and like the debuffs with Inequity, but ideally you want to like, you know, Dex all of them, right? So here she drops CSP2, perfect, or I drop it, sorry. And yeah, there I get the Dex, no big deal. Go back in. Her SP2 can be punished pretty well, so she can get that pause on the pure light form, so that's perfect. And yeah, here I drop another SP2, and this fight is going really dang good so far. And here she drops another one, get the Dex. I miss it there, but then Photon is Photon, and she has a lot of health, so yeah, we're chilling. Just tank that straight up. Pretty funny, to be honest, but yeah, we're chilling. Go back in, drop another SP2, or she drops another SP2, and we Dex it again. So like, it's just all about that timing at this point, because yeah, besides the SP2, there really isn't much in this fight. Like, that's all there is to it. And she drops another one, get the Dex again, and yeah, you just have to lock in. And yes, I'm stealing that quote from a very special person. You know, I'm gonna start to use that because it's important to lock in sometimes. Like, you have to lock in for this fight, because if you don't, then you're gonna miss a Dex and you're gonna take a lot of damage. Unless you have a rank 3 Photon, then you won't take that much damage. But if you're not using a rank 3 Photon, which is probably 99.9% of y'all, then yeah, gotta watch out for the SP2, get the Dex again, go back in, and this matchup is pretty much over. Is it? I think it is. Yeah. She's out of pure light form, but it's fine. We did like, what, over 1 million damage while in pure light form. Such a balanced character, such a, you know, such a, like, yeah, so balanced, right? But yeah, here I dropped the SP2 again, and this matchup is now over. So those are the 3 solos that I have for this video. The Deathless Guillotine fight, I'm gonna save that for a separate video because I want to show like that separately. Obviously, that's why it's in a separate video, right? But yeah, let me know your thoughts on these solos. I hope they help, and yeah, that's about it for me.